The striped survivor versus the wild galloper, who reigns the open plains. Let's set the scene. The wind is kicking up dust across a golden savanna. In one corner, we've got the zebra striped, stubborn, and sneakily savage. In the other corner, the wild Mustang fast, fearless, and full of fire. Both are built to run, both are born to survive, but only one can rule the open range. So what makes this showdown worth watching? Well, on the surface it seems like a horse versus a funky horse in pajamas. But don't let the zebra's black and white drip fool you. This is one of Africa's most underrated brawlers, and the Mustang. That's the pride of the American West, raised by thunder and chased by legends. Now imagine this, if these two met on neutral ground, let's say a rugged grassland, who would walk away with the title of true wild warrior? Is it the striped strategist who dodges lions for breakfast? Or the untamed stallion who's been outrunning cowboys since the 1700s? Let's find out. Built for survival versus built for speed, who's got the better body? Alright, now let's talk about the body game. Because in the animal kingdom, if you're not built right, you're built lunch. First up, the zebra. Now, don't be fooled by those stylish stripes. This isn't some safari decoration. Zebras are tough. Their bodies are compact, muscular, and made to endure. Why? Because they live in a neighborhood where lions, hyenas, and cheetahs are basically roaming HOA patrols. You've got to be ready to bolt, juke, and maybe even kick a lion in the face just to make it to breakfast. That's right. Zebras are not gentle. They've been known to bite, kick, and even knock out predators with a single back hoof. It's like having a sassy MMA fighter wrapped in a black and white barcode. And their skin, surprisingly thick, not just metaphorically. That hide takes hits, scratches, and sun like a champ. Now let's trot over to the wild Mustang, the pride of the American plains. These horses aren't just beautiful, they're performance machines. Leaner, taller, and made for long-distance power runs across deserts and mountains. Mustangs are like marathon runners crossed with dirt bike suspension. When they run, it's pure poetry in motion, with hooves that hit the ground like thunder. And don't think they're just pretty prancers. These horses have incredible leg strength, fast reflexes, and a muscular frame that evolved from generations of outrunning predators, fences, and sometimes even helicopters. No joke. Modern Mustangs in the US are rounded up by helicopter because catching them on foot. Not happening. So how do they stack up? The zebra is shorter, stockier, and more of a street fighter used to chaos, bites, ambushes, and fighting dirty. Meanwhile, the Mustang is the track star, built for open sprints, dodging obstacles, and powering through terrain like a freight train with a mane. But here's the kicker. The zebra's strength lies in raw survival instinct. The Mustang's strength lies in efficiency and control. So here's the question. When two wildly different equines face off, does street smarts beat speed? Can grit beat grace? Which body is better suited for a brawl in the wild? Stick around. We're just getting to the good part. Natural weapons, thunder kick or tactical trickster. Let's talk weapons. And no, I'm not talking claws, fangs, or venom. When it comes to zebras and wild Mustangs, nature didn't hand them swords, it handed them legs like loaded cannons and brains wired for survival. First up, the zebra. You might think of them as gentle grazers with great fashion sense, but don't let the stripes fool you. Zebras pack one of the most powerful kicks in the African wild. That's right. A zebra's hind legs can launch backwards like a spring-loaded battering ram. There are documented cases of zebras shattering lion jaws, breaking predator ribs, and even kicking other zebras unconscious. I'm not exaggerating here. These guys don't do warning shots, they go full-on donkey kick of doom. And the bite? Oh yes, they bite. Hard. With sharp incisors up front and a crushing grip in the jaw, zebras can deliver a chomp that'll make any would-be attacker think twice. Ever seen two zebras fighting for dominance? It's not a dance. It's a full-on equine street fight, complete with biting, kicking, and body slamming. Now let's talk wild Mustangs. These horses are fighters too, but with a different style. Think of the zebra as a barroom brawler and the Mustang as a high-speed ninja. Mustangs rely on evasion, speed, and precision. If danger shows up, they're already gone. And if cornered, oh, you'll get kicked. Hard. A Mustang's kick might not be as chaotic as a zebra's, but it's laser-aimed and lightning fast. Where the Mustang really shines, though, is in maneuverability. These horses can change direction mid-gallop like they've got invisible steering wheels. And with powerful front legs, a Mustang can rear up and strike with hooves like sledgehammers. Plus, don't forget that strong herd instinct. When one Mustang fights, others might join. It's like calling backup from the Wild West cavalry, so who's better armed? The zebra is all about brute force and survival instinct. Kick first, ask questions never. Meanwhile, the Mustang uses balance, precision, and speed to stay one step ahead. It's the battle of raw power versus refined movement. So here's the big question. In a one-on-one face-off, does the zebra's wild chaos overpower the Mustang's tactical grace? Can a street-fighting zebra outkick a desert-trained Mustang? We're not done yet, because when instinct meets intelligence, anything can happen. Stay tuned for the battlefield breakdown. The showdown on the open plains, who really owns the wild ground? Alright, time to hit the dirt literally. Because this battle isn't taking place in a zoo or a lab. It's going down where both of these animals thrive, the wide, open plains. So the question is, who actually has the advantage when the dust starts flying? Let's start with the zebra. Born and raised in the savannas of Africa, this animal knows how to survive in a place where everything wants to eat it. Lions, leopards, wild dogs, you name it, they've all had zebra on the menu. That kind of pressure turns you into a master of terrain awareness. Zebras know every bump, every bush, every escape route. They run in unpredictable zigzags, they turn on a dime, and they can vanish into the landscape like black-hand white ghosts. And when it comes to a standoff, don't think they back down. A cornered zebra is like a wild card, nervous energy, lightning reflexes, and one wrong move from the opponent could mean a hoof to the face. Their bodies may not be built for sprinting long distances, but in a short burst, they can kick up a storm and disappear before you blink. But now enter the wild Mustang. This horse was practically made for this setting. Vast stretches of open land, high visibility, and plenty of room to run. That's a Mustang's playground. These horses are the masters of momentum. Once they hit full speed, they're like a freight train with a mane. And unlike zebras, Mustangs have evolved with fewer natural predators, which means they've honed their skills more toward freedom and flow than constant panic and scrambles. On the battlefield, the Mustang brings control and power. It can read its opponent, maneuver with precision, and come in with a kick or a rear strike right when it counts. In open space, it's got room to charge, pivot, and counterattack. And when danger rises, it doesn't scatter like prey, it confronts like a fighter. So who rules the battlefield? The zebra is unpredictable, scrappy, and wired for survival under pressure. The Mustang is confident, fluid, and thrives on open ground control. One brings chaos, the other brings clarity. But as every strategist knows, terrain only matters if you know how to use it. Here's what I want to know. When the hooves hit the earth and the dust cloud rises, does unpredictability beat raw flow? Does zebra wildness overpower Mustang mastery? Hold that thought, because the final verdict is up next. And it's not as easy as you think. The final verdict, zebra's survival instinct versus Mustang's mastery. Alright, it's decision time. We've seen the muscles, the moves, the kicks, and the chaos. But when the dust finally settles, who's more likely to walk away the champion of this wild equine face-off? If we're being honest, and you know I always am, this is one of those matchups where victory depends on the situation. Let's say the battle takes place in zebra territory, in the heat and hustle of the African savanna. The zebra has home field advantage. It knows how to stay unpredictable, how to vanish into terrain, how to fight with just enough crazy to make predators think twice. It's used to chaos. It thrives in chaos. In a sudden ambush, the zebra's explosive energy, wild kicking, and no-nonsense bite could throw even the toughest Mustang off its game. But bring that fight to the wide-open ranges of North America, and the Mustang starts to shine. With more space to move, greater directional control, and stronger rhythm in battle, the Mustang can read the zebra's movements and use its calm, confident power to counter. The Mustang isn't fighting from fear. It's fighting with precision, and that's the real difference. Zebras are forged in survival, they fight because they have to. Mustangs. But here's my question for you. If you were face to face with both animals, one calm and calculating, the other twitchy and unpredictable, which one would you trust to have your back? Nature doesn't always give us clear winners. Sometimes, it gives us two survivors with different styles. And that's what makes this showdown so wild. Intelligence, the secret weapon in the wild horse showdown. Now let's talk about something you can't measure in muscle mass or kicking force. Something that often decides the fight before it even begins: intelligence. You might not think of zebras or mustangs as brainiacs. I mean, neither of them is solving crossword puzzles in the wild. But don't underestimate how smarts can change the entire dynamic of a confrontation. Let's start with the zebra. It might look jumpy and reactive, but that's because it's constantly making calculations. Is that rustling in the grass a lion or just the wind? Should I bolt left or fake right? In the wild, hesitation equals extinction. So zebras are masters of instinctive strategy. They move in unpredictable patterns, confuse predators with their stripy dazzle, and coordinate in herds like four-legged chess players. And here's something: wild zebras have actually been observed leading predators away from vulnerable herd members, even drawing attention to themselves before vanishing into cover. That's not just bravery, that's tactical thinking. Now what about the Mustang? These wild horses have been shaped not only by nature, but by history. Descended from domesticated horses that broke free centuries ago, Mustangs are hyper-aware, deeply social, and have a knack for problem-solving that goes way beyond instinct. Need proof? Mustangs have been seen opening gates, remembering water sources across vast distances, and even decoying predators away from foes using distraction tactics. Where zebras survive in chaos, Mustangs stay calm under pressure. Their herding behavior is tighter, their communication cleaner, and their ability to read situations, especially danger, is razor sharp. A Mustang doesn't panic, it plans. So which is better? The zebra uses erratic brilliance. The Mustang uses emotional control and tactical clarity. One explodes into action. The other reads the room, holds its ground, and strikes with purpose. So here's the big question. In a moment of tension when timing, judgment, and decision-making matter more than brute strength, which kind of intelligence wins? The wild, reactive brilliance of the zebra, or the calculating calm of the Mustang? In the end, brains aren't just for staying alive, they're for staying ahead. And sometimes, the smartest animal isn't the loudest, the fastest, or even the strongest. It's the one that knows when to fight, and when to simply outsmart the opponent. So what do you think? In a battle of minds, does instinct trump strategy, or does cool-headed control win the day? Stick around, the wild always has more to teach us.